Stress. It's the invisible shadow that follows all of us around, sometimes loud and obvious, sometimes quiet, but suffocating. And here's the cosmic twist. The way you handle stress might have less to do with your upbringing or job and more to do with the stars. Ever wondered why your friend snaps when they're anxious while you just want to crawl under the covers? Or why some people seem to thrive under pressure while others crumble at the smallest hiccup? Astrology offers some fascinating insights. By the end of this video, you'll not only understand how your zodiac sign reacts to stress, but also learn how to flip those anxious moments into opportunities for growth. Welcome back to Cosmic Zodiac, your guide to navigating life through the stars. I'm Ruby, and today we're unpacking a topic we all relate to: stress and anxiety. No matter how perfect someone's Instagram looks, we're all dealing with it in some way. The good news is, astrology can act like a cosmic therapist, shining a light on how we respond to life's pressures and what actually helps us cope. Stick with me through the entire zodiac wheel, because at the end, I'll also share one universal hack based on your element: fire, earth, air, or water, that works no matter what your sign is. Now let's start at the beginning of the zodiac with Aries. When stress knocks on Aries' door, it doesn't just knock, it kicks the door down. Aries, ruled by fiery Mars, reacts to stress with raw, restless energy. Imagine a race car engine revving non-stop, even when it's stuck at a red light. That's Aries under pressure. They pace, they fidget, and sometimes they snap at others without meaning to. Their stress response screams, "I need to do something right now," even if that something isn't helpful. The challenge for Aries is that slowing down feels unnatural, almost like weakness. But here's the secret. Their real growth happens when they channel that fire into focus instead of combustion. A good run, a boxing session, or even blasting music and dancing like no one's watching can burn off that anxious edge. Without it, you just end up with the friend who slams their laptop shut after one annoying email. With it, Aries becomes an unstoppable leader. Now moving into Taurus, we trade fiery impatience for stubborn stillness. Taurus, ruled by Venus, craves comfort and security like a cat craves a sunny window. When stress hits, they feel the earth shake beneath their feet, and they instinctively try to hold tighter to routines. But instead of facing the stress head-on, they might indulge in comfort food, shopping sprees, or binge-watching entire seasons of television. Their shoulders get tight, their neck stiffens, and suddenly they're convincing themselves that if they ignore the problem long enough, it'll disappear. But Taurus can't hide forever. Their cosmic lesson is learning that change isn't always the enemy. It can bring growth. Grounding activities help enormously here. Cooking a meal, tending to plants, or even something as simple as walking barefoot in the grass reminds Taurus that stability can be created, not just lost. Think of the friend who orders pizza, lights candles, and insists on watching a feel-good movie when life feels overwhelming. That's Taurus in stress mode, comfort cocoon activated. The trick? Don't stay in the blanket fort too long, because growth happens outside. From Earth, we rise into the buzzing energy of Gemini. When stress strikes Gemini, it's like their mind gets stuck on hyperdrive. Mercury, their ruling planet, turns them into a supercomputer that just won't shut down. Anxiety looks like racing thoughts, nervous chatter, or bouncing from one task to another without finishing any of them. Sometimes they talk a mile a minute about their worries, and other times they completely shut down when the words get jammed in their throat. Their coping mechanism often involves distractions, endless scrolling, gossip, or juggling so many ideas that nothing gets done. The lesson for Gemini is mindfulness, learning that not every thought needs an answer right now. Journaling helps, so does talking to a friend who listens without adding fuel to the fire. Guided meditations or even simply focusing on their breath can bring clarity. Picture someone typing out 5 texts at once, then forgetting to hit send. That's stressed Gemini. But when they use their curiosity to explore solutions instead of spirals, they become brilliant problem solvers. Now, let's sink into Cancer territory, where stress is less about overthinking and more about overflowing feelings. Cancer, ruled by the moon, feels stress deep in their body, tight in the chest, heavy in the stomach, sometimes leaking out as tears they try to hide. Their default coping mechanism is to nurture others, baking, cleaning, or caring for loved ones instead of facing their own storm. It's sweet, but it's also avoidance. Stress for Cancer often drives them to retreat into their shell, binge on comfort food, or cling tightly to family for reassurance. Their cosmic challenge is to realize self-care isn't selfish. They must mother themselves as much as they mother everyone else. Warm baths, journaling emotions, painting, or even redecorating their home helps them release those waves of feeling. Imagine someone saying, "I'm fine," while clearly not fine, then baking 3 dozen cookies at midnight. That's Cancer stress. But when they channel those emotions constructively, they become resilient healers, not just for others, but for the mauves. Transitioning from watery emotions to fiery pride, we arrive at Leo. Stress for Leo feels like a direct blow to their confidence. Ruled by the sun, they shine brightest when they feel admired and in control. Anxiety makes them act like everything is fine, even when it's not. They overcompensate, working harder, putting on their boldest face, and sometimes snapping dramatically if they feel disrespected. Their pride tells them vulnerability equals weakness, but the truth is vulnerability deepens their strength. Creative outlets are lifesavers for Leo. Painting, singing, or even karaoke can restore their solar glow. Gratitude practices also remind them that their worth doesn't depend on constant applause. Think of the friend who insists they're totally fine right before slamming their keys on the counter. That's Leo. Once they learn that asking for help doesn't dim their light, their stress becomes a chance to shine even brighter. Now Virgo enters, and suddenly stress becomes a checklist gone wrong. Ruled by Mercury, Virgo craves order and efficiency, but when anxiety strikes, they spiral into overthinking. They become hypercritical of themselves and sometimes of others, analyzing every tiny detail until they can't move forward. To avoid emotional messiness, they bury themselves in busy work, reorganizing drawers, rewriting lists, double-checking emails 15 times without hitting send. Their cosmic lesson? Perfection is an illusion. Stress teaches Virgo to balance striving with letting go. Healthy coping might look like grounding in the present through mindfulness, tidying small spaces for quick wins, or writing to-do lists that actually include joy and rest. Without these outlets, Virgo can become the friend who corrects your grammar in the middle of an argument. With them, they transform into calm clarity in chaos. From Virgo's precision, we float to Libra's delicate balancing act. For Libra, stress is all about disharmony. Ruled by Venus, they long for peace, but anxiety knocks them into a tailspin of indecision. They avoid conflict like it's the plague, even if it means sacrificing themselves to keep everyone else happy. Stress makes them overplease, agonize over choices, and get stuck in limbo. Their lesson is that balance doesn't mean avoiding conflict. It means facing it with grace. Coping tools include calming environments like candles or music, practicing small acts of decisiveness, and talking things out with trusted friends. Imagine someone scrolling Netflix for an hour because they can't decide what to watch. That's Libra under stress. But once they trust their inner compass, they move from anxious indecision to graceful leadership. Sliding deeper into the Zodiac, we land in Scorpio's intensity. Stress for Scorpio is like betrayal. Ruled by Pluto and Mars, their anxiety manifests as suspicion, defensiveness, and emotional storms buried under a calm surface. They withdraw, go silent, and obsess over worst-case scenarios. Sometimes they seek control through secrecy or manipulation, not out of malice, but out of fear. Their cosmic challenge is to understand that true power doesn't always come from control. Sometimes it comes from surrender. Journaling, therapy, or creative projects allow them to release their storm without drowning in it. Imagine someone giving you the cold shoulder instead of telling you what's wrong. That's Scorpio stress. But when they lean into their natural power of transformation, they emerge stronger than steel, forged by fire. From Scorpio's depths, Sagittarius bursts in like a wild horse. Stress for Sagittarius feels like being trapped in a cage. Ruled by Jupiter, they crave freedom, so anxiety often pushes them into escapism. They book spontaneous trips, quit jobs, ghost relationships, or crack jokes to mask their worry. They might overindulge in food, drink, or thrill-seeking adventures just to avoid sitting still. Their lesson is to stop running. True freedom comes from inner peace, not external escape. Hiking, traveling locally, or learning something new helps Sagittarius find meaning in the chaos. Think of the friend who buys a plane ticket right after a breakup. That's Sagittarius stress. Once they stop running, they become wise guides for others. From fiery freedom, we descend into Capricorn's heavy-duty endurance. Capricorn under stress is the CEO in crisis. Put your head down, grind harder, keep going even if it breaks you. Saturn, their ruling planet, loads them with responsibility, so their anxiety often manifests as overwork, pessimism, or emotional shutdown. They equate worth with productivity, and that's their cosmic trap. Stress teaches Capricorn they're more than their achievements. Healthy coping involves treating rest as seriously as work, practicing mindfulness to quiet the inner critic, and leaning on trusted loved ones for support. Otherwise, you get the friend who stays late at the office every night even when they're sick. When they allow themselves balance, they return not only stronger, but wiser. Capricorn's weight gives way to Aquarius's cool detachment. Stress for Aquarius is losing perspective. Ruled by Uranus and Saturn, they intellectualize problems and avoid feelings. Anxiety makes them aloof, obsessively researching solutions, or rebelling just to assert independence. Their lesson is that emotions aren't the enemy. Coping for Aquarius means balancing intellect with vulnerability. Community support, journaling, or channeling energy into activism helps them process stress constructively. Otherwise, you end up with the friend who spends hours Googling how to fix stress, but never actually takes a break. Once they merge their genius mind with their heart, their stress becomes fuel for revolutionary breakthroughs. Finally, we drift into Pisces, the dreamer of the Zodiac. Stress for Pisces feels like a tsunami of feelings. Ruled by Neptune and Jupiter, they absorb not only their own anxiety, but everyone else's. Stress drives them into withdrawal, daydreams, or escapism. Sometimes they numb with sleep, substances, or fantasy worlds. Other times, they martyr themselves by putting everyone else first. Their cosmic lesson is boundaries, protecting their energy without losing compassion. Healthy coping involves creative outlets like art or music, grounding rituals or therapy that reminds them they don't need to carry the world's pain alone. Picture someone binging fantasy novels for days to avoid paying bills. That's Pisces. But when they channel their feelings into soulful expression, they become mystical healers. Now here's where it gets interesting. While your sun sign reveals a lot about your stress style, your moon sign might tell an even deeper story. The moon rules your emotions, so if you've ever felt like your stress response doesn't match your sun sign, check your moon. But whether you're fire, earth, air, or water, one universal hack works for everyone. Return to your element. Fire signs calm stress through movement. Earth signs need grounding and stability. Air signs need mental clarity and breathing space. Water signs must release emotions safely. When you reconnect with your element, you bring yourself back into balance. So to wrap it all up, Aries charges at stress, Taurus clings to comfort, Gemini overthinks, Cancer overfeels, Leo hides behind pride, Virgo obsesses over details, Libra avoids conflict, Scorpio internalizes storms, Sagittarius runs, Capricorn grinds, Aquarius detaches, and Pisces drifts away. None of these responses are wrong. They're cosmic blueprints. The power lies in recognizing the pattern and choosing healthier ways forward. So tell me, how do you handle stress? Did your sign's description hit home? Drop a comment below and share your cosmic coping style. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you don't miss out.